computer. Okay, well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited about what we're doing here tonight. I'm Carly. If you don't know me, I think most of you do. And I am thrilled because I have two super special guests with me. Beth Graves, she's the person that introduced me to this really exciting world of peptides. And also I'm even more excited to have Honey Sigari join us tonight. And if you don't know who she is, she's the founder, the CEO, this amazing visionary behind LEMD. These two ladies are the reason that I'm here. And as an extension, they're the reason that you're here too, probably. Just a little bit about the company. LEMD is doing really big things in the telemedicine space. And what really drew me in was the energy. And these two ladies created the energy. And I think that by the end of this Zoom, you'll really know what I'm talking about. But LEMD is innovative, they're fresh, they're focused on shifting the narrative of aging and longevity through telehealth. We're shifting from sick care to true health and regenerative care and making it accessible to all of us. They've combined all these moving parts. We've got the doctors, we've got the pharmacies, we've got the patient portal, all on this online platform. And it just brings it all together in a way that I don't think many of us have ever seen before. It really is the future. And so if I sound excited, just wait till you hear from them. So first, I'm going to introduce Honey. She's going to share more about the vision that she sees for LAMD, and I can't wait to hear it. Every time I hear her speak, I'm learning something new, and it's getting me more and more excited to be aligned with this company. So, Honey, tell us what makes LAMD unique to you, and also tell us a little bit about your story and your background. And if you don't mind, maybe just a little science too, a little education on peptides, because I know some people that are here live and watching the recording are probably at the beginning uh, with their journey on peptides and maybe not even know exactly what they're all about. So I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Carly. And thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you, Beth, for bringing this beautiful community together. And you mentioned a lot, Carly, about what we're doing, but our greatest superpower is our community, is having these conversations, getting around the fireside chat and talking about all sorts of things from our health, longevity, menopause, what we're going through at what stage we're in, having our in-person events. This is what makes this company so unique, so powerful, and so special. Because there are telehealth companies out there, but no one is doing it the way that we're doing it with a community first approach. So excuse me, I'm still recovering from a cold. When you have two little ones, no amount of peptides could keep your immune system to combat the germs that they bring into the home. But my thank you. I'll share a little about my background. I've spent a majority of my career, if not all of it, from the time that I turned into a 14-year-old adolescent. I was working in nursing homes and in geriatric care. It's been a passion of my life. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to keep my friends around for as long as possible. And this has just been, a story in my life. And the story has changed, but the outcome and what I've tried to achieve hasn't really changed. It's been, I want to keep my friends around for as long as possible. And I want to bring as much joy into their life as possible. And that story, when I was 14 years old, was gathering all the older ladies in the corridor of the nursing home. And then it shifted. Well, I need to understand the mind and body and how they work together if I want to keep my friends around for as long as possible. And then from there, I went to grad school and I studied on a cellular level, what longevity and aging really means. And then from there, from hospitalized protocols to teaching Alzheimer's and dementia in nursing homes to nursing home staff and how to maintain baseline in this population. So my life has been focused on the end stage of life. And one day I had this epiphany of why are you so focused on end stage and helping people who are already there maintain a baseline or prolong those last few years? Why don't you just start when people are not sick? Why don't you start at the beginning of life and make preventative health care and therapeutics accessible to as many people as possible? Why don't you bring education to the masses? Why don't you create a movement and make this your mission in healthcare? And at that time, as I'm teaching people about Alzheimer's, I mean, I should have known this myself, but I was 235 pounds. My health was diminishing as a young person. So I understood I had to understand nutrition and healthcare and so forth. So the educational piece was missing for me, and that's where the community came in. I was like, if we can talk about the educational component through a community approach, make preventative healthcare accessible, and oh my God, now we can really change and make those changes in society. And this was pre-COVID, so the idea of personalization and telehealth, all of these things weren't really um, as common as they are right now, right? Where we've gotten used to it and we've been spoiled ever since COVID, where we have access to telehealth platforms, but back then we didn't. This was very, very unique in many ways. And so I started there, and I started with a community selling approach. I was like, every single dollar that I have that we make as a company, I'm not going to spend it on advertisement. I'm not going to spend it on Facebook, Google ads. That needs to go out to someone, right? Why bother paying the big companies when you can pay average everyday people to spread the message and word about your company? So I went in with that sort of mindset, and the rest has been history. We have helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people bring down their weight, lose 20, 30, 40 pounds. Imagine what that does to the body. Like pick up two 20-pound dumbbells, and that's what most people are carrying in our company, and they've lost that on average. And then from there, fine tuning the other levers in our body through the different peptides that we have. Tesamorelin, excellent for visceral fat. Visceral fat holds a lot of the toxins in our body. It's like it's inflammatory and so many. So it's how do we now fine tune the body, optimize it for longevity, for health. But the first biggest lever that we can pull on is the weight. And then microdose is a phenomenal solution also. I mean, we're seeing it's interesting. I was watching a video the other day of a rat, a normal rat, you put it in water, and then the rat goes and finds, the this area where it can like survive basically. It gets on this platform and it's no longer drowning. Well, they gave the rat plenty of sugar and fat, and they increased the amount in its diet. Now that rat could no longer find that little platform to go on. So it completely lost its survival skills, and it demonstrated symptoms of Alzheimer's and dementia, right? And so outside of the US, that's what they call Alzheimer's and dementia. They call it type 3 diabetes because sugar has such an impact on our brain functionality and the inflammation that it causes in our bodies and our brain. And so the GLP-1s are great for that. But ultimately, we want to be a longevity platform. We want to be we want to make preventative healthcare accessible to as many people as possible in the most remote regions of the country. And we want to do it through a community with soldiers on the ground, which is you guys. Every Thursday, we have our educational series, and we want to increase that over time. We want to make a lot of our solutions more and more personalized, from the protocols to the peptide stacks that we have. And then very soon, we're going to also introduce hormones, because I can't talk about longevity without also addressing hormones and thinking about like looking under the hood with diagnostic tests and other solutions. So ultimately, we want to get to a place where we are the best functional health platform out there, point blank, period. And we add those 15, 20 quality years to people's lives. And imagine what we can do as a society if we each add just a few extra years, productive years, healthy years to our own lives. As a community, we can rise together. So here we are, locking arms. And trying to make the changes that we can make. So thank you for the opportunity and bringing everyone together to have this.
Wow. Well, thank you for being here. Yeah, every time I hear Honey speak, I just know that I'm in the right place at the right time. It going into approaching 50, I know that my attention for my own health has shifted from, just thinking about what I need today, but thinking about what I'm going to need in the future and how I want to be here for my kids and my family and, to see all the things. And you've put all this together for us. And how can you not get excited when you hear Honey speak on what's coming with LAMD? So thank you so much for being here and talking to all of us about what you see for our future.
Of course, of course. Thank you. Thank you for having us. I mean, these peptides have been life-changing for me. I mentioned I was 235 pounds at my heaviest. I went down, I learned about nutrition. I brought my weight down on my own, but then baby number one came, baby number two came, and I was right back where I started. And just to have this kind of tool, have it be accessible to me and so many other people, it's given me hope. And I don't have to fear that weight gain coming back. When those 5, 10 pounds creep up again, I know that I have a tool. And that in itself, from a mental health perspective, has been life changing. Knowing that I have a tool and I don't have to like feel like a failure over and over again. So anyway, it's been great, and I love that I get to share it with my friends, and they get to share it with theirs. And I like to say it's just the beginning. What we've done and what we have achieved in just a short few months is just the beginning of all the changes that are yet ahead of us and what we can do for our communities.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to shift over to my friend Beth next. So, Beth, like I mentioned, is the person that first shared peptides with me. I saw her posting on social media. We've been connected for years and years, and I've always trusted Beth's opinion on things. I knew she would never align herself with a company or a product that was not 100% on the up and up. So as soon as I saw her post for the first time, I was instantly curious and I knew I'd probably end up saying yes to whatever it was she had. um, so so, Beth, come on here and share a little bit about your own journey with peptides, and also what you're excited about the future with LEMD.
Oh my goodness. Well, I often say that when I laugh when you said I knew I'd eventually say yes because I used to use those secret magic witchy powers to get my friends to do like not so great things. So I'm so glad that as an adult I've found ways to bring people to the light of their health. So my story began with struggling and perimenopause. Like I remember sitting on my bed and my husband said to me, like, what is going on? And I had been to a doctor. She wanted to put me on antidepressants. I didn't know that was low estrogen. I was gaining weight. I didn't recognize what was going on, and nobody was talking about it. There wasn't a community of people like this that would that had those conversations. So he's like, what do you need? How can I help you? And I told him I needed hair extensions. I thought that would change everything. So like off I went for my hair extensions, and still like perimenopause was there. The hormones were there. And this went on, you guys, from 45 to 55. So 10 years of perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. And while, sending my kids off to college, getting them through high school. And I am
No, no, no. They'll call you first thing Monday morning. Well, I'm working all day Monday, so in between every plane.
We lost Beth, but somebody must have hijacked her Zoom.
Alyssa, can you share your story? Because it's remarkable. If you can share.
Hi, I was just coming on to say hi. So I'm just popping on from my car. So welcome. I would love to share my story. My journey is from I had struggles with infertility. I have a very different story from Beth, with a different journey. And my story started with trying to complete our family. And with that, oh, and Beth is back on. So
Back.
I was just starting to share my story,
Oh,
Beth,
go,
but
you go,
I will
Alyssa.
hand it back. No, you go. I said I was just popping on to say hi. You go. You go.
So
You
I
share
No,
love
just
this.
what you
share.
wanted to share.
Alyssa's story is really beautiful too.
Yeah,
Just
Alyssa,
finish
go.
that,
I
please.
want you to share your story.
I was just saying how mine started with infertility and trying to complete our family. And it was actually my OB that talked to me about having bariatric surgery because GLP was not even a thing for anybody in the weight loss market. And I went through a very extensive process to have bariatric surgery in 2020, lost over 100 pounds and put in habits during that. I started, moving my body. I started having more protein, doing all of the things that helped with that assist of bariatric surgery. And now, or it was probably about a year ago that I kind of started gaining some of that weight back. I was doing all of the things, but nothing was working. And it was so frustrating. And the other thing that happened during that time is that I had a hysterectomy. I had a hysterectomy a few years ago, and my hormones just went completely crazy. And my doctor would let me know, hey, it's okay that, you're still lost this amount of weight. But I was seeing that creep back up. I was having all the inflammation. And I had just ran a half marathon and realized I should have been on top of the mountain, and I felt like I was at the bottom. And I couldn't get any answers as far as somebody to listen to me about my hormones and about the inflammation and doing all of the right things, and just felt so stuck. And it was actually Beth who had posted her journey online. And I said, hey, whatever you have, whatever you're doing, I want some of that. I am really stuck right now and I need help. And I reached out to Beth and reconnected with her, and she introduced me to the world of peptides. And I started taking GLP, tirzepatide, the GLP-1, GIP, lost another 30 pounds, and I continue to microdose today. So that's my story.
I love your story, and I also love that when we're because a lot of people are in here looking at the business. I remember Alyssa came and met Honey and me in person for the first time the same weekend, and she looked at us and said, "I just want to pay my mortgage." And Honey said to her, "Well, I don't think you're dreaming big enough, Alyssa." And so she started to dream a little bigger just by making that impact of the stories. And so I think the most important thing I want to share is this. I didn't have this when I was sitting on my bed thinking, no one was talking to me about solutions or longevity or my hormones or like Carly just sent her daughter off to college and the community gathered around her during that time. And so what Honey's built, I could talk about peptides all day long. We know GLP-1. I mean, Serena Williams, for goodness sake, is talking about it. It was what finally was that first lever for me for a 55-pound weight loss, but also opening the conversations to talk about what goes on with hormones, what goes on with mental health. What goes on in the background is we need community. And so LEMD really brought me back to myself. Building a business here has, I'll get teary saying this, is it has completely shifted and changed everything for me on a personal level, which then impacts my adult children, my sister, my husband, even my dog. I'm nicer to my dog because I have purpose and building community. And when you feel good, it's so natural to want to share it. And I had referred about 50 people to different telemedicine, different doctors, and they would say, that's expensive. How do I trust this? They'd ask me questions. With LEMD, I'm a professional pointer. I don't diagnose. I don't tell people how much of their medication to take. I literally connect them to the community, to the education, where you go in and you have a health and medical questionnaire, a physician that is not LEMD. We're not the doctors. We're the telemedicine platform, is looking at that, making sure it's a right fit, is available after for consultation. And then this incredible pharmacy. Honey has like these connections out in the world that she just finds the most brilliant people. And one of the main pharmacies we work with, he is so interested in how can I serve and how can I help and how can we make these peptides more personalized and even better. So you guys, we get to do the fun part. We get to share, we get to have conversations, we get to order our peptides, and Honey is behind the scenes, literally building out every single it's like, to me, it's like, how would you build an engine of a car if you didn't even know how to turn on a lawnmower? That's me. I'm the one that's like trying to push the lawnmower. I get to do the fun part. I get to share on social media, get to gather people on Zooms, gather in real life, travel places, and start the conversation. And we have what we've been able to do is help so many people that first come and say, probably like Carly, that was like, oh, maybe I should, maybe microdosing is a thing for me. And then starting to talk to her friends about NAD, to her own family members about what, what could LEMD offer to them. And so it's really more than my personal story. It's that my story felt so important that I get it out into the world. I got super brave on social media. And on that day, I was then connected with Honey, who had just started LEMD and was like, Beth, I know that I've got you. I have no idea where this is going. I have a vision. And I just trusted that I could see pain in her eyes from the past of what she wanted to do and wasn't able to do because of limits, and what she wanted to create, and the people that she's bringing on board on the brand partner side, on the corporate side, and on our educational side. It's incredible. And so I just feel like I'm home here, and I'm so excited because of the stories of all of you. Um, Whether you share with one person or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, you're making an impact, you're changing a life. Oh, do I wish that somebody would have reached out to me that day that I was sitting on my bed at 45 years old and said, hey, I've got a solution for you. Let me show you this website where you can dive in. Let me share this educational series with you. So we get to give out hope, and we also get to support people in their journey, because once they start losing the weight, they can add the tesamorelin, ipamorelin. They start thinking, oh, wait, what's this NAD? Skincare. Like Honey's like, I said to her, like, okay, we're healing from the inside out, but you love skincare and you love like all-inclusive products. So now we have like a dermatologist on board that helps to prescribe this incredible skincare. I mean, you guys, I can't even imagine where we're going to be a year from now. So my story began with doctors not knowing what was going on because they weren't educated, a community that didn't understand, oh, that's just the way it is. And this is everything I have ever dreamed about, being able to bring women together to create impact and change. And so, Honey, thank you for that. And on day one, I always say I made a little dream list of people that I wanted to build this business with and create something really, really special and different. And Carly was on that list. So thank you, Carly. It took a little bit of time for me to talk, for me to like keep sharing. And last night you said Beth would pop in with a podcast or an educational series or just give more information, because some people are to sit back and learn and start growing with their own health. So we're really, really lucky to be here.
Beth. Oh, okay, here we go.
Okay, my internet went haywire. Of course it did. I don't, I missed a little bit of Beth. I apologize if I'm cutting anyone off, but I wanted to say thank you all for being here, first of all. And am I interrupting, Beth, as I am jumping back in?
I was finished.
Oh, okay. I was watching intently as my face was frozen. I'm like, of course it's gonna freeze right now. But as we're kind of closing things, I know Beth mentioned that it took me a while to say yes. Um, Although I already had the utmost faith in what she was doing and knew she would only align herself with something that she truly trusted in and believed in from the start. And that's why eventually, I was ready to take that leap. I knew for sure that I needed peptides in my life because I was struggling on so many fronts. I'm 47 years old. I'd kind of put myself on the back burner for a little bit and really just treading water for so long that I forgot what it felt like to like really swim, so to speak, or fly. I forgot what it felt like, before life got to this point where I had kind of ignored some of my issues for too long. And as a result of starting on a GLP-1, I was able to lose just a little over 20 pounds. And I think I've been posting more on social media lately. Um, a lot of people will say, I don't really see that big of a difference. And all I can see is the difference, which is kind of funny. And I think that's because I remember how I felt in that first picture, the before picture, and how I felt in the after picture, and how the the difference was just so incredible. I went from feeling uncomfortable in my own skin, uncomfortable in my clothes, feeling disappointed in myself, looking at my face and thinking I was feeling puffy, but knowing that um, I was truly doing all I could at that time to try and stay healthy, to get my sleep in, to eat right, to exercise, and it all worked great for a long time until I got to the point where it didn't do the trick anymore. And so I'm so grateful to have this tool, like Honey said, this tool that you can come back to if you need it because it always works. That's what's so wonderful about it. Um, but I'm also grateful that I decided to say yes to the business as well. And so if you're on here joining as a guest of me or anyone else, just know you have those options. You obviously peptides. Do that, okay? Get on the peptides. You'll be glad that you did. But if you're getting a little excited about what you're hearing from Honey and Alyssa and Beth about the future of the company and what we stand for and the community that we've not just built but are in the process of building, then it's accessible to you too. Okay, it's not just for the chosen ones. We don't go out and pick and choose the people that can only join this company. It's actually available to anyone who wants it, which is incredible that you can be at the beginning of this company. It's just barely over a year old. It turned a year old in June, and we're just at the beginning of building this thing. And so the sky is truly the limit. So get back with the person who invited you here, whether it was me or someone else, and let us know what your journey is going to look like. Are you getting started on peptides? I hope so. That's a no-brainer. But are you also joining this amazing company with just such a bright future? Because we'd love to have you 100%. So I want to say thank you to Honey. She had to jump off already, but Beth and Alyssa, thank you for jumping in last minute as we were having some technical glitches. We really appreciate it. So good night to everyone. Thank you for being here.